Yeah. And I think, we probably, I don't know how much time we have, but that's a really good conversation to have. How
Mm,
to interact with AI. I actually think that's a really good conversation to have. How do you start a conversation? How do you keep it on track? How do because I hear these people come up with these strange looking, it looks like computer code.
mhm.
This is the prompt you use. I think there's a better way, but maybe that's a whole new conversation we can have next time.
We absolutely can. That is part of the series that we're gonna be, covering as far as making sure that people understand. This one was really just about making people feel more at ease about
Yeah.
being able to use AI and understand that there are so many use cases for it. My mother, she's a senior now. Where I used to send her to YouTube, now I can send her to AI, and I would tell her to, just go on YouTube and watch this video, and it'll show you how to be able to do things. My mother got to the point where she was like, "Oh yeah, I replaced my hard drive. I was doing this. I was doing that." I was like, "Look at you." So like now AI is another version of that. It allows you to be able to have more ways to be able to identify things. And I don't want to go off script, but there was a conversation I remember having with someone, and she said that there was a stat that said in somewhere down south, I want to say it was Florida, whenever there's hurricanes, there were certain Pop Tarts that sold better than the other Pop Tarts. And they realized that, so they stocked up whenever they knew a hurricane was coming, and they would keep that in the stores. And then when it went away, then they would go back to adding in those other things. Like it's so much information in there and that can be found. Like look for stats, ask for backup to be able to confirm these things. But there's information for analytics. There's all of these different things that you can be able to pull from. Don't just ask it questions, have it ask you questions because a lot of the information that it's giving you, it's based on information that it got from other people.
Yeah.
So why not have it get it from the source and have it be able to come back to you and say, you know what? Actually, what you just said is way more fascinating than the things that you were looking up.
Yeah.
And that's the conversations that I love being able to have with it, where it brings up stories that I have no reason to think anything about, but it ends up going back into content because it'll ask me questions. I'm like, yeah, I mean, unless someone asks me about it, I have no reason to think anything about it because it's my experiences and I don't find myself fascinating. I find other people fascinating. So
Yeah.
have it ask you those questions. You would be surprised some of the output that you may get from it.
Yeah. Great points.
What I would ask is, would you say is stopping most people from even trying AI? Is it overwhelm? Is it fear of it?
Yeah. I think mostly it's fear. I know
Mm,
that in today's world, a lot of people are overwhelmed, just overwhelmed by everything that's happening around them, all the things they have to do, all the responsibilities. So I think overwhelm is part of it because
mm,
when you're looking at AI, you're like, oh, something new to learn, right? And that can feel
yeah.
overwhelming. But I actually think the biggest obstacle is fear.
Mm,
Will it make me dumb? Will it take my job? Will it, it's like when the printing press first came out or the first car came out, there's fear around,
yeah.
what is this big change happening and can I handle it? Humans actually, we don't like change. We're much like cats in that way, right? Don't change my world. I'm comfortable, thank you.
Guilty, guilty, yes.
Right? So I think fear of change is a huge piece of it. Just that fear of change.
Mm,
And this, change happens a lot faster than it used to. There's a long time between when I got my first color TV and, the internet. And now we've
yeah.
gone from internet to AI to, so yeah, we're afraid of change. I think it's fear of change. So how, how do you deal with that? Well, you just do one little thing.
Mm,
So one thing I always say is, be curious. Be
yes.
curious. Just be curious. I wonder what that could do. I wonder
Yeah.
what would happen if I wonder. Just be curious and try one little thing, one tiny prompt. Don't even have to use it. Just try one.
Hmm.
That's it. And we've given
Love it.
several examples today. So one of those might, try one of those.
Love it. Yeah, I will say definitely fear. One of the things that I will say is think of all of the questions that you have in your head that you're scared to say out loud. That's what AI is for. Like, you don't have to worry about someone saying that's a stupid question. AI is not going to tell you it's a stupid question. So you
Yep.
can ask it all the stupid questions that you want to be able to ask and get the answers to it. or at least something in the ballpark that will either confirm, yes, don't say that to anybody else, or maybe you should ask somebody else that. So
Yeah,
there's a wealth of reasons why you could use it. And I just wanted to make sure that we had a conversation that made people feel more comfortable with it,
yeah,
because if we look in some people's browser history, we will find all the questions that they went to try to search for answers to. AI can actually crawl the whole internet and find those answers faster than you can, and
yeah,
it can actually give you more context, and then what you get from that from there allows you to be able to do whatever you want to be able to do with it from there. So definitely the fear. I'm not someone that likes change but so much, because it can be uncomfortable, and I get that, but it's also one of those things of, it's not up to us. So once you can kind of settle into that part, then you realize either you're going to make the adjustment or you're going to get left behind. And then you're going to be forced to make the adjustment. And then you don't really have a say in it. So at least control what you can control.
yeah, exactly. Love it.
Okay. All right. So with that, I will bring it back to the promise and say by the end of this episode, we said listeners will stop feeling paralyzed by AI's pace and start seeing how to use it as a creative partner, not a creative threat. You'll walk away with real world ways to protect your voice, preserve your value, and move forward with confidence. I hope that we were able to fulfill that promise. And if there was anything where you felt like we missed a mark, or you would like to get more information on, leave it in the comments, and I will make sure that we cover it within the series that we're going to be doing. Melody Ann, it is a pleasure. Thank you so much. You're always such a pure
Yeah.
joy. And we will see you next time.